just got back late last night from DC. Senator Hickenlooper and I went over to the Pentagon actually for lunch with the Secretary of Defense to talk about to tell them that we're not going to let them steal Space Command from Colorado. And that's the conversation that we had. By the way, if you ever have the opportunity to be Secretary of Defense, I would recommend that you get a very nice dining room. But Travis, again, thank you for the introduction. We were last together 4 months ago in Steamboat, and I tell you that it's been my experience that nobody has ever wanted me to come back within 4 months of when I'm given a talk to them before. So I appreciate the invitation even more for that. And I just want to start by thanking everybody in this room for your leadership on Western water issues. As Travis said, money can't solve everything. It helps, but it's meaningless without the leadership of the people in this room. I've lost count the number of times over the years that I've turned to the people in this room, not just Christine, but often Christine, for guidance and expertise. And I can't thank you enough. It's meant the world to me, particularly as I've served on the Agriculture Committee from the day that I got to the Senate. And I know that the people in this room and the people that you come after have forgotten more about water than I will ever know. But you don't have to be a water expert to know that we're in a 5-water crisis in the West, in the Rocky Mountain West. The West hasn't been this dry in 1,200 years. That's when Vikings were marauding throughout Europe from one end to the other, and even beyond that. And in 2023, these conditions have created profound challenges for Colorado and for the Rocky Mountain West. Last summer, we saw parts of the Rio Grande Basin dry up for the first time in 40 years. Nebraska is saying they might build a canal to divert precious water from the South Platte, running farmers on the high plains of Colorado. We've got a Colorado River in peril, governed by a century-old compact that no longer reflects reality. And here is the reality. As everybody in this room knows, the water allocated on paper has never matched the actual water in the river. The compact allocates 16.5 million acre-feet of water. I had the chance in the last couple of weeks to spend 10 days in the Middle East with Mark Kelly from Arizona. And we had a lot of conversations about compact. And the way in which the estimate had been off from the very beginning. And we know the average flow is closer to 12.5 million, while the upper basin has acted responsibly, always. It has taken this less than a 7.5 million share. The lower basin has taken far more year in and year out. 2022, the entire upper basin used only 3.5 million acre-feet, less than half of our legal allocation. We actually cut our use by 1 million acre-feet over the previous year. And at the same time, the lower basin increased its use by 600,000 acre-feet, putting them well over their allocation while we were trying to do the right thing. And as you know, they're doing that by draining Lake Powell and Lake Mead to their lowest levels since we filled those reservoirs 50 years ago. That is deeply unfair to our farmers and to our ranchers, to people like Harrison Tripp, a peach farmer in the North Fork Valley, who's trying to keep his orchard alive with a lot less water. On the Ute Mountain, over the Ute Mountain Ute tribe, which has had to dramatically cut back on farming because there is no water. I could go on. Every example is a reminder that we can't accept the status quo. We have to define a new vision for the river. So as the 7 states continue their negotiation, we have to reach a decision because none of us wants the Bureau of the Department of Interior to impose one instead. And that that means everyone in the basin has to make hard choices to live with what the river provides, which is what we've always done. We have always done in Colorado. And frankly, what tribes have done for centuries on this landscape. I know the upper basin is prepared to make tough choices. And we'll have to see if the lower basin can do the same, is willing to do the same. Because even if we do everything humanly possible, it still won't be enough without real changes to the lower basin that will make a material difference over the long term. You know, I'm not overly optimistic about this. We shouldn't be Pollyannish about this. Reaching an agreement won't be easy, and everybody knows that because we haven't reached an agreement yet. But everybody here in this room, the people that you represent, have a central role to play. In the months ahead, the entire basin is going to look to all of you for leadership and for examples of how to do more with less. The examples like Paul Boucher, who I know is here today, I just saw him outside, ranches in Graham County where he's experimenting with new crops that can use up to 30% less water. Will King in Fruit, who abandoned conventional farming to try regenerative agriculture. Now he's using less water, growing more crops, and setting an example for the entire West, something we can all learn from. We can point to the tough choices of leaders like Mayor Coughlin and Aurora, where they just passed restrictions on new golf courses and developments with lawns that need too much water. There's stories like this all across our state, and it's our job to go and share them with the country. The people in this room may understand the Western water crisis. I know you do, but I can assure you no one else does. Most Americans have no understanding about how important this river is, how it works, what it means to 40 million people in this basin, and what the implications of its survival are, not just for the West, but for the entire United States of America. We have to tell them. We have to tell them. And it's not enough to keep talking to each other about it. We need everybody here to reach out and talk to national publications. Talk to members of the Senate and members of the House. Talk to the administration. Go on the news at night. And our team stands ready to help. We're prepared to do everything in our power to draw attention to this crisis back in Washington. I know my staff, Rosie, was here yesterday talking about the farm bill. And I think in the short term, we have an opportunity with the upcoming farm bill, not only to educate the public, but to make new investments in conservation, forests, and watersheds on top of the ones Travis mentioned earlier. So if you have ideas and you've got concerns or you've got criticisms about how the farm bill works or how it could work better, we want to hear them. But over the long term, we need the federal government to backstop whatever the states decide with the Bureau of Reclamation. I don't want the federal government to help. Nobody in this room does. But if we can come to a consensus, the federal government is going to have to help backstop that consensus. The $4 billion that we secured in the Inflation Reduction Act is a good start, but it's only a down payment. And this year is a historic opportunity to build on that progress. 2023 may be the most important year for Western water since the Colorado River Compact came together a century ago. The choices we make this year could shape the basin for the next 100 years. I guarantee you, if we don't make these choices, it'll shape the basin for the next 100 years. And we have the opportunity to lead, I think, and to tell this story, and to define the future of the Colorado River, not based on fear about the future or bitterness over the past, but on creativity, collaboration, and a commitment to leave the basin in better shape than we found it. And I know Water Congress is up to that challenge, and I want you to know that I'm going to be with you in this fight every single step of the way. Thank you for having me this morning.